All right, what's going on? Today is Wednesday, April 22nd. So I'm doing my trade recap for the day. We had one win and then one loss across two accounts today. So I ended a little bit in the positive. We ended up about 200 bucks, but we're still down like 703 on the week. I think a little bit more because it's just like one funded account, I think, that's down that amount. And then we have another account that's a little bit in profit from this winning trade that we ended up taking today. So, without getting into that, we're gonna go to the calendar. Today was a no news Wednesday. Yesterday we had some news, but for the rest of the week we're in the clear for trading. So if we head over to the charts today, when we were heading into New York session this morning, what were we doing? Well, let's look back at Asia session and London session. If we're looking at both the indexes here, we have ES and we have NQ. I'm just on bar replay. I'll show you guys the replay of the day and what my thought process was going into the day. So originally, we didn't end up manipulating any real highs other than like these like hourly highs that were pre-market. So we manipulated these pre-market and then ended up getting up higher here. So I didn't know if we were going to trend to all-time highs today based off of what we've been doing. We kind of get a little retrace during the AM session, and it kind of seems to balance out price. But you never know with price being at all-time highs. So I thought for sure if we had manipulation here, we might have a downtrend starting, and we might be able to catch some shorts down to these lows right here. But as you can see, if we go down to the 5 minute time frame here, where we would be waiting for market to open, we open up, and then instantly we'd think we would want to manipulate higher here, but I don't know if we did. Let me take a check. I don't think so. I think it was already in a trade by this time. If we go back to this bar here, what I was thinking in this moment, if we're looking on the 5 minute time frame, we've already gotten what seems to be moves to the downside. In hindsight, I think that we should have waited for realistically this to be a break of structure. We didn't have breaks of structure on NQ, and then also on ES, we also did not break structure to the downside. So we can see that was a big flaw for our initial trade idea for the day. We should have had a break of structure here. And then we ended up getting the retrace into EQ here, but as we can see, it wasn't really valid because we didn't get a breakup structure on the 5 minute time frame here. And on the 1 minute, to confirm that, we did end up like breaking structure on the 1 minute and then coming back up to our 5 minute like continuation here, but it just did not break structure on the 5 minute, so it was a fatal flaw by me in the pre-analysis phase. If we go down here, we can see we were trending upwards. We ended up breaking above and breaking structure on the 1 minute back up here. I thought, oh yeah, for sure, we're getting a proper retrace. And look at this, we're right inside this 5 minute gap. This is perfect for us to take a continuation to the downside on. So we end up looking down to the 1 minute. We see when price broke structure here. This isn't exactly what my trade idea was. I think I waited for breaks of structure here, but could have entered here anyways because of the 1 minute gap that we had here. But I wanted to wait for more confirmation on this trade idea to the downside because we had such a huge candle going to the downside. We fucked around on this candle and then we ended up breaking structure here. I think the trade looked something like this. And then we were targeting down to London session lows, and we had all these previous lows that we were going to manipulate, hopefully. As you can see, we end up just not doing that. We put in a big wick, reverse straight up. We inverse this gap that we are inside of here, and then, so you can see, fuck around for a while, boom, stop me out of this trade. And then what do we end up doing? We end up coming up on the 5 minute. We can look here. what did we do when we opened up in market? We came down, we swept out some low resistance liquidity down here, and then we ended up getting, I think, an SMT. Yeah, an SMT off of these lows right here, down to here and down to here. And then if we look up here, we did not take out these lows, so we have an SMT right here with those lows, but we end up going higher off of this move. So we end up taking this high on ES. ES has a lot more liquidity to the upside for the day. We have hourly highs, 4-hour highs, and 4-hour highs that we can target for, but you know, NASDAQ is getting pretty close to these London session highs and also these highs right here that were put in. So if we look on the 1 minute time frame here, I took a trade right after this when we put in this wick of this body, and then we ended up coming back down here to tag into this 1 minute gap right here, and then I just entered into a long right here. I did not wait for a 1 minute break back up because I didn't want to miss us taking out these highs right here. And then we end up coming down, giving us a spook, but then we respect this 1 minute gap that's down here. We go take all this fucking shit off the charts right here. All of this, we can see that we respect this 1 minute gap right here, and then we end up moving higher off of that. So we end up coming up, taking out these highs. I don't think I put stops to BE or break even just yet because we could have easily got tagged right here. But then on NASDAQ, what we were targeting here, if we go over to the 15-minute time frame when we're targeting all-time highs, it would be a good idea for us to take our fib tool and then move it from the lows to the highs. So we move it from this swing low to this swing high up here, or you move it from here. But either way, the negative 190 is all the way up here. So it was a little bit ambitious to be targeting, but that's where I had a portion of, you know, where I wanted price to go for the day, and then I was going to trail stop loss into profit. So we end up moving around here. We didn't end up coming back down to break even. We moved way higher off of this move. And then if we look up here, this is where I got tagged out for break even. I was adjusting stop loss to this low, and then we ended up moving to I believe this down candle right here, and then got tagged out. Or I think I might have just put it underneath these lows up here, and then got tagged out just right up here for only a little bit on the day, but you know, could have been worse. You know, we made back what we lost during the first trade, and then we ended up making a little bit of profit on top. So we'll see what we can do for the rest of the week. I was originally planning to get out once ES took out these highs up here, these 1 hour highs, but ended up just chopping around for a while, so I think it was okay that I put my stop to break even. And then didn't stay in the trade for too much longer. If we go 5 minutes here, we moved around for almost the entire day, I'm pretty sure, and then I got like a notification because I set a alert up here on my phone that we hit the 4 hour highs, but it took us a long time. It was like 4 p.m. in the afternoon before that happened. Yeah, like 3-4 p.m. almost. Yeah, literally. So I wasn't willing to wait in this all day for that to happen. So we ended up hitting this high, but in the end, it was not worth it for me to be able to sit into this and then only make like $300. I would have made like $100 more than what I made. So is what it is. I took out partials, so I'll take it on the day, but we'll see what the rest of the week can bring us anyways. Thank you for tuning in. The camera's over there. Peace.